Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Big Hitters FPL podcast. This week we are looking at game week 21 with me, Noah, Ludo, hi Ludo,
Hello.
and Jake, hi Jake.
Hello.
So before we get into any fantasy, we've got some new changes we'd like to talk about. First of all, you might have noticed a bit of a change to the title slide. That's right, we have changed it. And as you'll see along the bottom, we now have a Twitter account. So make sure you follow that. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. And with Twitter, every podcast will be doing a tweet saying, comment below your questions for the podcast. So comment below any questions you've got for the podcast, and we will try and answer them in each podcast. So we'll get started on FPL with a look back at game week 20. Quite a slow, bad game week for many, but a good one for Jake. How's it gone?
Yeah, I'm pretty happy. Got over double the average. Yeah, I'm disappointed in Fernandez again. Poor captain pick. But yeah, and you can see on the left, there's some key points. So I've had Foden a couple of weeks now, and he's not really performed. He was in form before I bought him, and then now I brought him in. He's not been doing great this game, like 1 point every game. So Gundogan, who has been in form, I'm probably going to bring him in for Foden. So yeah, I decided to bench boost, as you can see, and it went pretty awfully, other than Areola, who came to the rescue, getting a clean sheet, a point for 3 saves, and then all 3 bonus points in the 0-0 draw against Brighton. Souček brace, which is great. Sterling goal and assist. Watkins goal, and then I've still got Kane to play tonight against Liverpool, which I don't know, not too sure what will happen there. Yeah, so pretty well.
Yeah, considering the average, that's a very good week. On to Ludo.
Yeah, so I had an okay week. I'm very disappointed that I benched Areola. I was very happy with Sterling. I was a bit anxious, but then after the United result, I was quite happy. In terms of the United defence, I'm not very convinced with the United defence. They always concede the first goal, and they make life difficult for themselves. So I'm not sure, fantasy-wise, if they are the greatest of options. I guess Maguire offers attacking returns, but other than that, pretty solid week. The Aston Villa attacking duo delivering 14 points, very solid, and yeah.
Right, not much of the same for me because I've had a pretty awful week. 39, so hovering above the average, but with a 4 hit as well, just above the average. So I went for my 5 at the back, and it did not go well, as you can see there. 5 at the back, disaster. Stones and Diaz, trusty as always, but Dallas not keeping a clean sheet against Newcastle.
I did tell you that we keep a clean sheet.
Okay, I've learned from it now. Justin conceded against Everton and got a yellow card. Cresswell conceded but got an assist, so not bad. Souček. Every time, it seems to be the thing that when everyone starts him, he blanks, including when Jake captained him. But when everyone benches him, like this week, a brace in the first half. I mean, come on. So that's 15 points.
I actually remember telling you last week that you should play Souček instead of Dallas.
No.
That was
maybe,
Ludo.
No,
that was Ludo and Aaron who told you to bench him.
It was Ludo that told me to go Kane over Souček, which I did. And yeah, so I'm a bit annoyed about that. Very annoyed about that. 15 points on my bench. Sterling did well. Maddison, nope. Bamford, 3rd blank in a row. Fernandez are my captain calamities. Carry on. I was looking at a website which shows you your captain stats, and 11 of my 20 captains have blanked. So that is shocking.
Pretty good.
Yeah. I think that's what happens when you park the bus a bit. You're relying too much on clean sheets.
Speaking of parking the bus, you drew 0-0 with Wolves. So
yeah, they were parking the bus. We were not. We broke the record for the most passes in the first half. since
good for
the
you.
2003-2004 season. So, no.
I suppose this is a good time to talk about Chelsea because, for whatever reason, I don't know, but Ludo has decided to include Thomas Tuchel's managerial record in this PowerPoint. So, go on, Ludo, take it away.
Right, I just wanted to, show not particularly the wins, draws, and losses, but the amount of goals. And so obviously you can see that he's basically, when he's managed a team, the team have scored almost double. They've conceded way less than conceding. They've conceded not many goals, but they've scored many goals. So I just wanted to talk about how perhaps we might see a change in the amount of goals Chelsea score in a match, and perhaps because he was brought in to get the Germans up and running, perhaps that's his aim. And I saw an improvement in Havertz's performance, so perhaps one of them, or Hudson-Odoi seems to be an appealing choice because Tuchel really likes Hudson-Odoi, and Chilwell actually played as left wing back, and he was playing like a left winger, so perhaps he could start delivering lots of attacking returns. I'm not sure what you think.
I have got a question about Chilwell for later in the show, but I will just say that I think in these sort of 1 or 2 weeks, I think it's really risky to have a Chelsea asset.
Yeah, I think it's a bit
we saw
unpredictable.
The team selection, didn't we?
Yeah,
We're still trying to feel.
It's a bit unpredictable. He's gonna, twist and turn the team for a couple of weeks, and then we can really start to see that starting 11. But
personally,
until now, it's a risk.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Marcus Alonso actually play left wing back. Maybe.
Yeah, I think under Frank Lampard, apparently he was dropped every time after he got into a fight with him after the West Brom game. But this is the thing with new managers; they give you another chance. So some players will be happy to see the back of Frank Lampard. Many will not. So it's a change.
Including you.
I'm
stand on that.
I'm not happy, to be honest, but you've just got to accept it and you can't dwell on it. So I support Tuchel, and many Chelsea fans are not supporting Tuchel, plainly because he replaced Frank Lampard when it wasn't his fault. He just deserves respect because he is a really good manager. He's got lots of experience, so we should not write him off.
As long as Zuma doesn't get back in the lineup now, I've transferred him out, I'm happy.
Yeah, I think Rudiger played really well with Thiago Silva and Azpilicueta, so I think Zuma, we might be talking about a loan, to be honest. I'm not sure. But a player like Zuma should not be on the bench. But we're really not sure at the moment. It's too early to predict. Okay,
so we're going to talk about something else now. I don't really want this to stay on the screen because it's not very nice. But so we'll go back to my. Oh, that's not very nice either. Okay, we'll stay on Tuchel's record for now, and we'll move on to game week 21. And of course, it's Jake's turn to spotlight a match. Very interesting one this week.
Yes, so I've gone with Southampton against Aston Villa, just because I think it's an important game. In the middle of the table, it's all very, very close. And last time out, it was a very high scoring match with 7 goals between the two sides, for Southampton. So I don't know, we could be looking at some big hauls from both sides. And Southampton really haven't been in form lately. I think they've only won 1 in their past 5. Wait, no, that's Aston Villa. No, they've both only won 1 in their past 5. So yeah, neither of the teams have been in form lately, really. So I think it could be an interesting game.
Yeah, we saw Ward-Prowse masterclass the other time with 2 free kicks on his birthday. And Grealish and Watkins performed as well. So that's why I've kept Grealish and Watkins and I've not made any transfers this week.
I think it's as good as that might sound. We forgot to point out that last week Ludo made a 64 hit, so it balances out, you know. We'll let you have that one though, but
Yeah,
we want
it's
to
an
tell the listeners
achievement.
about 64 hit. So yeah, a lot of managers going for Martinez, conceding 3 against Burnley, which was not ideal. But personally, I'm very happy to back Martinez against a weak Southampton attack. Where do you stand on that?
I think you might have a good option in Martinez, yeah, because Southampton, they haven't been scoring lately. I mean, they've not had good results and they've not been scoring, which it really doesn't bode well for them. So I think, let me just look at their results. So they scored 1 against Arsenal, and then they couldn't score against Leicester. They managed to beat Liverpool, and then 0-0 draws with West Ham and Fulham, losing to Man City. It's not great. Not scoring against Man City. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think Martinez could be a good option in goal.
I think they've got a good chance of turning up, but they've been in a bit of a dry patch, to be honest. And yeah, I mean, if Ings and Ward-Prowse turn up, and I think Walker-Peters is injured actually with a hamstring injury. That's a big blow because there's not that youthful energy down that wing. So we'll just have to wait and see who wins.
So we'll go on to our GW21 teams now, and we'll talk about who we're going to captain as well. But quite a tough one to pick from this week because some big players with tough matches. Anyway, I'll show you my team. This is my team. I plan on making 3 transfers to this. One of which I've already done, which is Dallas out, Luca Digne in, and I've still got about 4.5 million in the bank. So both Lookman and Bamford are, sorry, not Bamford, Davis. I'm looking to maybe move out with maybe Son, maybe Grealish, maybe Watkins, maybe Antonio coming into the team. I've got the armband on Fernandez. I think that wasn't me, it was just automatic. But I'm leaning towards Kane.
Yeah.
So in terms of my team, I've got Martinez in goal, happy with that. Diaz, Stones, as usual. Justin, and I will have Digne. In terms of midfield, we've gone Fernandez, Sterling, Maddison, and my 4th guy who I'm going to bring in this week, who will either be Son or Grealish. And up top, I'll go for Kane and one other striker who might be Bamford, might be Watkins, might be Dominic Calvert-Lewin back in the picture. So some interesting ones there, but that's my team. How's Ludo's looking?
I'm quite happy with mine, to be honest. So I've got 2 Man City defenders, solid. Areola, expecting a big howl from him. Keane as well. Newcastle have been really bad. That's why you're bringing in Digne as well. And, good aerial threat. Fofana has got Leeds and Fulham coming up. We've got Raheem Sterling, Maddison. Grealish got 15 points against Southampton last time, and Watkins got 7 points against Southampton. Really strong performances. I'm going to captain Kane for sure, but I'm not too sure about leaving Bamford and Mings. I was just looking for your opinions on that because Mings has a chance of scoring, but Villa's defence hasn't been the greatest of things.
Yeah, especially coming off the back of a 3-2 defeat to Burnley.
Yeah.
I'd say leave. I'd say leave Bamford on the bench for sure against a good Leicester team. 3 blanks in a row. Mings, on the other hand, that's quite a tough one. What were you going to say, Jake?
In my opinion, yeah, I'd do the same. I think if I were you, I'd probably put one of DS or Stones on the bench. I mean, Sheffield United, I don't know, beating Man United. I mean, you never know.
That is a
If-
controversial
I
statement.
know, but
I'm gonna have to disagree with you on that one.
fair enough. But
I mean, looking at this team, I can see really good fixtures. And I might end up benching Fernandez, to be honest.
Oh, wow.
I've benched Fernandez before and got rewarded because he got 2 points and then somebody else got a goal. But I'm not too sure at the moment. But yeah, I was
Sorry, you go.
I was also thinking about Smith Rowe, and to be honest, Bukayo Saka really looks a tasty option. I mean, he's really getting goals, assists, and Lacazette. I've got to admit, I hate saying this, but Arsenal look like a really decent team at the moment. They're on a good run, and yeah.
So I'll just say quickly before we move on to Jake, but I don't think it seems wise to bench Bruno for a defender.
yeah,
I think that's a bit.
I think I'll remain. I think I'll stick it how it is. But who should I put first on the bench, Mings or Bamford, just in case?
I think Mings.
Same.
Okay, yeah, I'll go
So-
for Mings then.
We'll look at Jake's team now. Whee.
Yeah. So I've made 2 transfers this week. I've brought in Gundogan instead of Foden, and Fofana instead of Zuma. So now that Noah's mentioned it, I'm thinking of making a third, maybe Luca Dean in for streak on the bench.
Can you afford that?
Yeah, I've got like nearly 4 mil in the bank, so that's a possibility. Yeah, I am still slightly concerned against defensively. Like I said, Man City. I'm not saying Sheffield United will score, but it's always a possibility coming off the back of a big win against United. Leeds, I don't know. Leicester should have a clean sheet, I'm hoping. And then Aston Villa again, slightly worried after the 3-2 defeat to Burnley. But, you know, hopefully it'll be all right. And then my midfield, I'm thinking is pretty strong. Hopefully Fernandez will pick up his form again. And then attack, I'm captaining Kane. Well, I guess I'll see how he plays tonight against this Liverpool side. But yeah, I think he should have maybe a couple of goals in him against Brighton. And then, yeah, I've got Watkins against Southampton. Hopefully get a goal there. And then Bamford, I might bench him for Souček.
I've just realised that if I get Gundogan, or yeah, instead of Sterling, I could upgrade Smith Rowe to Heung-min Son, who's got Brighton, then Chelsea, but then West Brom. What do you think about that? And if so, who should I bench? Essentially.
That's a really tough one.
Yeah.
Just go
Wait,
back
let's
to your
go
team
back
just
to your
to see.
team. Yeah.
Is this your no, Jake? Oh, bye-bye. And there we go. Okay, so you're doing Sterling to Gundogan and Smith Rowe to Son.
Who do I miss out?
I'd say at that point, Fernandez.
Really? Not a defender?
Fofana.
Yeah,
Or
same.
Fofana.
But
It's one of the F.
the thing is, should I downgrade Sterling? That's the thing, because I feel like Gundogan might be coming. It's typical that his form, and I think that Sterling might produce something against Burnley in game week 22. So I think I might be leaving it as it is and not taking a hit. It's not worth it having a good player on the bench as well.
Yeah, I mean, Gundogan's been in form for the past 8 games or so. So, I don't know, bringing him in now, like I've done, it is a bit risky because, you know, we could just stop scoring.
Yeah.
And scoring for a good few games in a row. So.
Yeah, Gundogan has just gotten, he's got 10 points, 3 points, 11 points, 9 points, 3 points, 8 points, 10 points, 14 points. So
Yeah.
That is quite
7
impressive.
goals in his last 8 games.
Yeah.
I think with that, we'll end part 1 and unveil our brand new part 2. So that'll be fun. Okay, so part 2 of the show, we'll start answering some of your questions that you sent to us, mainly through Twitter, but a couple through WhatsApp as well, if you've got our number. Yeah. So who wants to ask a question first? Anybody?
Jake, do you want to go?
Sure. So we've got a question from Finbar asking.
Who's in our mini leagues, by the way?
Yeah, he's asking whether Ludo seriously thinks he has a chance of overtaking him.
The answer is in a short term, no. In the long term, yes. And next season, I will not be seeing him around my team.
Fair enough.
I will just remind you that the gap is 70 points now, so one for you to think about.
Don't worry, in the long term, I will have him done and dusted.
Okay, then. Yeah, you go.
I'd go for we've seen a lot of cheap midfielders score big points at the moment. So what would be your ideal midfield 5? No budget restrictions. That's from Ricky.
Yeah. It's a good question because it is true. We've got De Bruyne injured, we've got Fernandes out of form, we've got Salah out of form, and then we've got Souček, Gundogan, Saka, Grealish all in form. So I guess I'll say my ideal 5 first. Based on current form, I'd have to go Souček, essential, yeah. I'd have to go Gundogan. I think I'd be inclined to stick with Bruno Fernandes. Then looking past that, who is there? I reckon
Addison. Have you said him?
I haven't said him. I think he's got 2 good fixtures, so yeah, I'd include Maddison. And then the last one, I'd probably go for either Son or Grealish, which is the dilemma I've got for my own team this week. I'll go Grealish. How about you guys?
Yeah.
Ludo?
I mean, yeah, I agree everything Noah says. Yeah, I'd go Grealish as well. Why not? Because if you've got Kane already, if Kane and Son are playing a team like Liverpool or Man City, then Man City especially, then that's a really hard fixture, Man City, considering their defensive record. So just for a change, I'd go Grealish. He's a very good player. Performs day in, day out.
Who else would make your 5?
No. I agree.
Is the midfield 1?
Well,
solid 5-1-3 formation.
No, I mean Gundogan. At this moment in time, due to form, I wouldn't pick Fernandes, and I'd go Maddison. So Gundogan, Maddison, Grealish, and perhaps Son. I'd include Son. And final midfielder Souček, yeah, as you said.
Fair enough.
And Jake?
Yeah, I'd go Gundogan, Souček. I'm not sure which Leicester midfielder, but I'd definitely go with one of Maddison, Tielemans, or Barnes because they've all been in form lately. And then perhaps controversial pick, I might go with Pogba. Because he's been in form lately.
Yeah.
And then probably Saka as well.
I mean, yeah.
Interesting picks there.
just to be clear, we are picking this due to current form. So obviously Salah's not in there, but in the long term, I'd probably include Salah as well.
And De Bruyne when he's back from injury.
Yeah.
I've got a question here, which is just a simple one from WhatsApp from Yukai, I think it was, which is who are the best strikers to buy? I think it's quite a topical one because everyone's got their Kanes and Bamfords and Brewsters. But with Bamford out of form, I think we're all looking for sort of maybe a second or third striker. So who would you guys recommend?
I've got Watkins at the moment, who I think is a good option. I also say Antonio and Lacazette are good options, and possibly Callum Robinson, because he's got 2 good fixtures as a differential.
Yeah. Also, I'd probably go for Lacazette, to be honest, and a 7.0 million defender, which is a big, attacker, striker, who's a big risk, but he's selected 0.0, has just been added to the game, William Jose. I'm backing him.
From Real Sociedad, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, loan. Nice. I'd probably have to add to that. I think you said Antonio, didn't you? I have to add Dominic Calvert-Lewin, who's in an back for Everton. They've got 2 really good fixtures coming up, and we know he can score. And the second one I'd go for would have to be Danny Ings, who's back from COVID, I think. And Southampton needs someone to step up, and there can't really be anyone else except him.
Yeah.
So those are my 2.
Yeah, to be honest, this might sound either Tammy Abraham, Giroud, or Timo Werner, because they've got Burnley, Tottenham, then Sheffield. So
Yeah, but see which one.
Again, we'll have to wait and see.
It's too risky.
Yeah.
I'll shoot you another question. I reckon we've got time for 2 more, maybe. This is also from WhatsApp. It says, for the next few weeks, who is the better option from Digne or Chilwell? Both around 6 mil. Both got decent fixtures. Which one?
I'd go for, if Tuchel plays this formation, then Chilwell's literally playing as a left winger. And he'll offer attacking returns. But with the return of Calvert-Lewin, you might see Digne getting quite a few assists. So I think it really depends the team they're playing. So Burnley and Sheffield for Ben Chilwell.
And Newcastle and Leeds for Digne.
Yeah, Leeds are a bit more open and they attack a lot. So it's
much, though.
Just purely because I'm a Chelsea fan, I'd go for Chilwell, but that's just, it's a very tough choice.
Personally, I'd go with Dean. Just because I can't remember where I saw this stat, but Digne has more crosses, and he's only played in 6 game weeks or so, or a few more. He's got the most crosses in the Everton side this season. And I think he just has more quality in picking out the right player than Chilwell does.
I'd also go for Digne for similar reasons, but also a different reason, which is we saw Chilwell get substituted relatively early in the Chelsea game. So that could hint for me potentially a rotation. So Digne is more nailed, and I'd say more likely to get an assist.
Yeah, I think I probably will transfer Digne in this week for Streak.
I already have.
Yeah, just to confirm that at the moment, the player who's put most crosses is Andy Robertson, followed by Trent, then Pedro Neto, and then Aaron Cresswell. So that's interesting. Yeah. And then we've got the likes of Kevin De Bruyne, Bukayo Saka's quite high, and Bruno Fernandes as well.
If I got Luca Digne, who should I play him instead of this week?
I know
Cash.
you won't want to. Oh, sorry, no.
I'd bench for Bamford. Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Yeah,
I have
fair.
to bench Bamford.
But should I bring Suchek in as well? Take him off the bench.
No.
No, against Liverpool, no chance.
He's so going to score a hat-trick, though, isn't he?
Yeah.
Okay, I reckon
Yeah.
we've got time for one more question. I think there's only one more question left, so who wants to present it? Got one from Johnny, haven't we?
Oh yeah, so the question is, what is everyone's top 3 differentials? So in the game, we'll quickly go around. I'll start. I'd go Bukayo Saka, followed by Areola, because I think he's quite, followed by probably Smith Rowe as well, to be honest, because he's only 4.5 and he plays week in, week out, so, and gets sometimes a couple of assists to his name. So that's my 3.
Fair
Jake?
enough. You're not gonna like me for this, but I'd have to go with Pogba again.
Fair enough.
Lacazette, who's actually only got 6.5% ownership, which is surprisingly low. And let me think, who else? Possibly Oliver Giroud. Olivier Giroud.
Olivier? I think he might get dropped, though, because he didn't really play well. Noah, what are yours?
Well, I'm struggling to think of some. I'd have to go with Tielemans of Leicester,
Yeah.
who I'm kind of loyal to because I had him in my team for a bit, if you remember, and he didn't do very well. But yeah, I had him in my team for a bit, so good. It's quite tough, isn't it? I will go for maybe. I reckon you guys have picked on it a bit, but I reckon Fofana's a decent differential.
Yeah.
Because he's more nailed at the moment than Justin
Yeah.
because of Pereira's return and Leicester have got good fixtures coming up.
Yeah.
And then the final one being. I have to look at Leeds attack. Because.
I'd go for Rafinha, to be honest.
Yeah,
David.
there's Rafinha, there's Harrison, but probably Rafinha. So Rafinha is my third one because Bamford isn't really performing, but stepped up. Those are my 3. So I think that just about ends the show for today. Hope you've enjoyed it. Of course, we've got Tottenham versus Liverpool, a huge match tonight, which will end the week. And then looking ahead to game week 21, which the deadline is Saturday morning. We've got Everton, Newcastle, Crystal Palace, Wolves, Man City, Sheffield United, West Brom, Fulham, Arsenal, United, Southampton, Villa. Sunday, we've got Chelsea, Burnley, Leicester, Leeds, West Ham, Liverpool, Brighton, Spurs. And that is the week. So we'll be back with another podcast on Sunday afternoon. So look out for that one. And don't forget to subscribe to YouTube, follow on Twitter, and send in any questions you've got. Good luck, guys, with Game Week 20 and Game Week 21. Good luck to all of our listeners. Have a good week and bye-bye.
Bye.